they're on a winner here for that money, especially for that money.
G'day folks, MCNews recently got along to the launch of CFMoto's 450SR. It's an interesting model from CFMoto, really launches themselves into a new segment and builds on the popularity of their 300SR, this time with a new engine, developed by CFMoto themselves in-house. Little parallel twin-cylinder 450cc, pushes out 46 horsepower and more torque, interestingly enough, than the Ninja 400. Now that sounds great because this engine is pushing along a bike weighing only 179 kilos wet and full of fuel. So that equates to around 168 kilos without fuel via my quick maths. European designed by ex-MV and Ducati stylists. It has great materials and surfaces, Brembo brakes, Bosch fueling, a slipper clutch, great TFT dash with integrated GPS tracking via the CFMoto app, and a whole bunch of options. It should be a good thing. So let's find out if it is.
Let's do this. So the new CFMoto 450SR, as you see there, great looking bit of kit. Keen to get out there, so let's go. We're at Murray Valley Training Centre, and I've never been here before, but we'll see how we go. Man, it's quite torquey. That's not a bad brake. It's only a single disc on the front. Just try to get the feel for this track. Feels pretty good. Oh, it feels good to be back on a bike. Alright, a few drops of rain, I'm coming in. Changes direction really nicely. Brakes are good. Good feel, good bite, good power. No fading that I found. Yeah, that change is really quite stable. It's not too small, even for me. What am I, 181 centimeters? But I found that really quite easy to ride, easy to punt. Oh, that's an impressive little bike for $8 grand. Very, 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 very impressive. And more torque in that little 450 twin than you would imagine on paper. Because they've kept the weight down on this quite well. It's only 179 kilos, fully wet, fully fueled. So, oh, and check this out. You ready? Here's a party trick.
Okay, a little break in proceedings while we're waiting for the track to dry. Thought I'd give you some more thoughts. The forks are non-adjustable, but they're pretty good. Rear is adjustable for preload. So I think on a dry track, if it dries out again, we'll probably dial a little bit more preload up just to stop the back from walking around a bit under brakes. But gee, I tell you what, it's a nice thing. Beautifully styled, like really nicely styled. Very impressive. And a great exhaust note for a stocker. They've got one over there that does have a slip-on from, I think, a company called Verex in Tasmania, or Verex, not sure how you pronounce it. But man, it sounds awesome. It doesn't sound like a 450, sounds like a bigger engine. G'day folks, that's a wrap on the launch day of the CFMoto 450SR, and I'm calling it right now. This is the bike that actually announces CFMoto's arrival into the motorcycle industry as a real player. The other bikes from CFMoto have always had a little something that wasn't quite right when they've come to market, and for me, that's not the case with this bike. Great fueling, great engine, suspension is fine, brakes are fine, handling is really nice and playful, and the playful is probably the word that comes to mind really when I think about this. Really capable, playful, easy to ride, easy to have fun on. This is a great little bike, and not just a great little bike for the price, but a great little bike, period. They've done a really, really good job with this. Sounds amazing with this aftermarket muffler. It's a bit dirty, we've had it out on the road, so apologies for that. But that sounds amazing, sounds much bigger than a 450, sounds more like a 650, 700 sort of a twin. 270-degree crank, so it sounds like a proper twin, sounds really cool. This particular bike has a few additional aftermarket bits on it, not aftermarket, optional bits on it. So it's got the rear cowl, it's got a tail tidy, obviously that muffler that I mentioned a second ago. We've got rear sets, and we've got some fold-up levers here as well. So they've got plenty of options if you want to trick it up. Yeah, I rate this really, really well. We had a fun day on the track and on the road. It behaved really nicely. So sometimes, you'll have a crack on a track or really, in spirited riding, and the bike feels really good. But then when you go to ride it slow, it shows up sort of fueling issues and that sort of stuff, which really bugged me. Not so in this case. I think they've done a really good job here. So going for it, if you're in the market for this sort of a smaller bike, great bike to learn on, but not learn on and then turn over really quickly, I don't think. You'd probably keep this for a fair while, and it'd be a fun little track bike if you've got access to a smaller track like Broadford or something like that. Good bike, but yeah, we love it. Take it to motorbikes.